This was my breakfast. It was 4 points. I had 2 eggs that I scrambled, and I used coconut oil spray. I really like it, with salt and pepper and a little bit of this, or probably a lot of this everything bagel seasoning blend. I got it from Walmart. It is comparable to the Trader Joe's, and it's really, really good on eggs. And those were 0 points. I had 2 slices of center cut bacon, which is kind of hard to find right now, but it is so good. I cook it in the oven at 400 degrees for 13 minutes, and it's just so good. It's a lot less fat because it's cut from a different part. It doesn't have all the fatty end pieces. It is 1 point per slice compared to 2 or so points per slice. And a lot of times with other bacon, if you have 1, it's 2 points. If you have 2 pieces, it might be 5 points. It can change like that, but with this one, it's just 1 point per slice. So I had 2 pieces of that, and then I also had a Premier protein shake. I am really hungry in the morning, so I make kind of a big breakfast if I can. And this was 2 points. It's the caramel. I love it. It is my favorite. I have tried all the flavors, and this is the one I always go back to. The one that's closest is strawberries and cream, and that may be my summer one because it's just so refreshing. But if you can find the Walmart brand, it is just as good also, and a little bit cheaper. I also wanted to make sure every morning that I have a giant glass of water to start the day out with, and I am bad, and I added some great water enhancer to it just because I needed the flavor. But that's 3 servings of water, and then that will count as fluids. So this was my 4-point breakfast. Now for lunchtime. This looks like a ton of food, and it kind of is, but I bumped my points back up to breastfeeding, not exclusively, part-time, just because I am still trying to wean, and she has kind of went through a spurt of nursing more, so I get 5 extra points a day, and so I'm kind of eating them at meal times, filling myself up at lunch so that I snack less, and it's worked out well. But yesterday I went and made some chicken salad. I just measured out my mayonnaise so that and divided it equally among the girls and husband and I, so that I knew I was getting what I measured. I used 1 tablespoon, and that was 3 points. I did not use light. I didn't have light, and I was okay with counting the points for it because everything else in there was free. And then I have, this is not the bread I normally get, but lately with Walmart pickup, with just what we're going through in America, it's just been, you get what you get. And so this is Nature's Own whole wheat. For 2 slices, it is 3 points, but that is the same amount of points as what I normally eat, and so I'm okay with that. And I'm going to pair it with a side of baby carrots and French onion dip. I am not a ranch person unless it's homemade ranch. I don't really love ranch if it's not homemade. And this to me is really, really good to dip your carrots in. For 2 tablespoons, it is 1 point. And then to make myself look like a pig, I'm going to have a cup of this chicken and cheese enchilada soup, just like I said, to really fill me up. And this Zevia is still out that Ellie brought me. Sometimes I use that at lunch if I want to really help fill myself up, but I'll probably save it for a snack and just make myself some unsweet tea with lunch. And this is going to be my little dessert because I'm spoiled and think I have to have a dessert after every single meal. And these are, I probably won't get these again because I just can't stay out of them, and they are literally 1 point per pretzel. So you have to decide that it's worth it to splurge on them. But I am going to have 3 pretzels for 3 points, and they're dark chocolate, so they are a little richer, and it's kind of a good sweet and salty thing. So that's going to be my dessert today. A serving is 5 crackers, so that's 5 points, but I am not spending 5 points on that. I said that, and last night I probably spent 10 points on them, so now I gotta go back and count that. But this will be my lunch. Now I want to show you some of the staples that I keep in my house that you are not going to see today in my what I eat in a day. These are things that just really help keep me on track, and you'll see some of them aren't really the healthiest, but sometimes you do what you got to do, and that's what I do when I'm losing weight. These are all low point things that they help me feel like I'm eating junk food, but I'm really eating low points food. So it helps a lot. So I will start in the back. I am not a big frozen dinner person because they have a lot of sodium in it, but I have kept a couple of these in my freezer lately. This is the herb roasted chicken. The entire thing is 2 points. It has been very good to pair with a grilled cheese or something like that. And speaking of grilled cheese, these 1 point slices, like Velveeta slices, they're 1 point. You compare it with some, I can't believe it's not butter spray, and some low point bread, and have a good like 5 point meal with this. So that's been really good. Moving over this way, these are the GU sugar-free sauces, and I don't use them very often, but I do keep them whenever I don't have the points to use them. I'm going to make some barbecue chicken in the crock pot later this week with this one, and then sometimes I just use that as a dipping sauce. We've had this for a couple months, and you see we haven't put a huge dent in it, so it's not something that we use regularly, but we do keep it. Recently, it's kind of fogging up so you can't see it, but I made 0 point marinara sauce. If I forget to link it, I believe it's from the skinniestdish.com. One thing you don't think about is that marinara has a lot of points in it because they usually use oil and sugar, and to me it's just not worth the extra points. And this is just as delicious. You make it in your crock pot. It makes a bunch. I divided it out into individual portions, and then some a little bit bigger portions for maybe the kids and I. And then I have some out there, not in this bag, but that are big portions for spaghetti nights, pizza nights, things like that. Moving on this way, this is a favorite dessert. I think they're pizzelles is how you would say it, but you can find them at World Market, Aldi, and my husband actually found these at the Dollar General yesterday. So I was pretty excited about that. They come in a smaller pack at the Dollar General, but it's the exact same brand. But what I like to do is just put some whipped cream between it and eat it like as a little sandwich. And you can have 4 of these for 4 points. I usually don't have that many. I'll have 2, and then the whipped cream, just depending on what kind you can get, maybe free. So a lot of times that's a 2 point dessert. And then, speaking of whipped cream, these are my absolute favorite. These are the Fiber One brownies. They are 2 points. What I do for desserts or just a snack, if I feel like I need to fill up a little bit more, because they are Fiber One, they do fill you up. I'll heat them up in the microwave for about 13 to 15 seconds with a little bit of this on there. This is the sugar-free caramel, and I will use just enough to where I can count it as 0 points, so I'm not adding an extra point. And once it melts, it spreads out. You really don't need much. And then after it comes out, I'll top it with a little bit of whipped cream. This is the one I currently have. Usually, I don't know the points for it, but I usually use just enough to where I can keep it at 0 points. 1 at the most is really all you're ever going to count for it, but I try to keep it at 0 so that that's a 2 point dessert. I normally don't eat these. They are 5 points, which is kind of a lot, but I have them right now just if I am busy with the kids and I just need a quick breakfast or a quick snack, it's there. And this is the apple cinnamon. I usually like mixed berry, but they're harder to find now, and the apple cinnamon to me has been just as good. And then speaking of Fiber One bars, these are the lemon. They're not my favorite. I'm not even going to act like they are. I know they are for a lot of people on Weight Watchers, but they are not for me. But I have a lot of them, so I've had to eat them anyways. They were as a substitute one week. They didn't have what I needed, so they gave me that. They gave me a big box, and also happen to have a small box already, so I've been trying to eat them up. But I've been putting 1 teaspoon of this vanilla marshmallow Pillsbury fluffy frost on it for 1 point for a teaspoon and 2 points for this. So it's a 3 point cake. And this stuff is delicious. Like, I can't stay out of it sometimes. And then this was my first time to try these Yasso Fudge Brownie Frozen Greek Yogurt Bars. They are 4 points, and they are worth every bit. They are absolutely delicious. I am not a Greek yogurt person, but I absolutely love those and could not tell they were Greek yogurt. Another favorite is I will get an apple, and I'll slice it up, and I'll melt a little bit of peanut butter and drizzle it over there and top it with maybe a teaspoon of mini chocolate chips, or if I don't want to count a whole point, I'll do the bigger chocolate chips and just like do, I think you can do 5 or 7 for 0 points. I can't remember. And I know it's crazy to count them out, but I do if I'm being stingy with points. Now, peanut butter is point heavy. And so you can just use however much you have points wise available. Usually I don't use over a tablespoon. I believe this one is 2 or 3 points for a tablespoon. And I don't remember regular. I think it's about the same. But if you melt it, it doesn't really take a ton. Usually I use less than a tablespoon if I melt it. But my tip is that I like to keep my apple cold. because when the hot peanut butter hits it, it hardens back up, but it's drizzled, and it's so good. My kids love it too. And then I'll also keep turkey pepperoni. 12 of these are 1 point. If you go to the full serving size, which is 17 slices, it's 2 points. I usually keep it at 1 point. I'll heat them up for about a minute so that they're crispy chips. Sometimes I'll dip it in this marinara or just eat them plain, and it helps fill me up. Oh, one more thing. These have been very hard for me to find, but I think my husband said they were at Brookshires last time. Target and Walmart are supposed to carry them, but where we live, they don't. I found them over in Shreveport, let's see, several weeks ago. But so I went ahead and got them. We just hurried and rushed home with them. They're frozen. They're the Tyson blackened chicken strips. So they're kind of like grilled chicken, but they're blackened. And they are 0 points if you're on the blue plan. They're delicious to pair with these sauces. Or I put it in a wrap yesterday. They're so good. And speaking of, I need to grab something else. One more thing I forgot to sit out. These extreme wellness wraps. I have the spinach and herb this week, and they're delicious for wraps. I usually just keep the whole wheat. They are 1 point. They're filling because they're full of fiber. The fiber cancels a lot of the carbs out. And if I just feel real hungry, I'll get a couple of these, and I'll put some fat-free cheese on it and melt it with some Taco Bell sauce, and I will roll it up, and it's just a good little 2-point treat. If I do 2 of them, it's literally 2 points. And sometimes I'll make enchiladas out of the wheat ones. And it's just very good. But overall, these things I usually keep them in my house if I can. And they just help keep me on track for weeks I'm struggling. Or maybe I want to binge eat, or don't feel like doing WW anymore. If I stick to these things, it just helps so much. Popcorn is Smart Pop individual bags. It's 94% fat free. It's already salted and kind of buttered. It is so good. I'm not a huge popcorn person unless it's at the movie theaters, but this stuff I can eat like candy. I believe it's 3 points for the bag, which to me sometimes I don't feel like counting 3 points for just a little bag of popcorn, but it's also good and filling, so it does help. And you could pair it with an apple or a string cheese or something like that also. I wanted to come back and give you an update over my lunch. I have not even touched any of this stuff, and I've made myself finish this sandwich. I am so full. I wasn't hungry really to begin with because my breakfast held me off with all that protein, but I am going to just divide this up throughout the day. So it is noon right now, and what I'll do is maybe at 1 or 1:30 go ahead and eat the carrots, and then maybe 2 eat the soup. And then so later in the afternoon, I also get really hungry right before dinner. I think that this will help me stay on top of my hunger. And I also have a snack planned already. So I'll probably try to just... One of my kids is over here putting her finger under the phone. I'll probably save my snack for tonight. Tonight is the Biggest Loser finale. And what more fun than to eat while watching a weight loss show, right? Just an update there. It did seem like a lot of food. And now if I had not eaten breakfast or had eaten breakfast real early, I would have eaten every bit of this. But I'm just so full, I can't even do it. Okay, so it is almost 2:30. I am still full. I don't understand what the deal is. So I still haven't finished the rest of my lunch. I have not snacked. But I wanted to go ahead and show you what I do have planned for a snack for today, so that when I get hungry, I'll have it. And if I don't get hungry, I'll just have a binge night watching TV, since the points allow it. But these are Townhouse pita crackers. They're the sea salt flavor, and 6 crackers is a serving, but I allotted 10 for 3 points. And then I'm going to have, I believe it's 2 tablespoons of this red pepper hummus. This is the one from Target. They're all basically the same and good. So that will be my 5-point snack whenever I decide to get hungry. And then, like I said, if I don't eat it, I'll just have those extra points. Now it is time for dinner, and I'm going to make a lightened up tater tot casserole. Going to start by sauteing a diced onion, and I sprayed the pan first. So next I have added 1 pound of 96% lean ground beef, and this is only like my 3rd time to use this. I just got it a couple weeks ago. The Pampered Chef Mix and Chop. I Love it. I can't believe I lived without it all these years. But I'm going to cook this until the meat's all the way through, and then I will add a can of cream of mushroom. So I've added a can of cream of mushroom soup. You want to use the 98% fat-free. I thought I had it and I didn't, so I'm going to have to go back and adjust my points for that. And then it called for a bag of steamed vegetables, and Walmart was sold out of the mixed steamed vegetables, so I just put part of a bag of steamed carrots. I put half a can of green beans, and that's just all the green beans I have, so they're the whole ones. And then half a can of corn, and I'm going to see if that's enough. I may go back and add some more. So I'm going to mix all of this together and just see what it looks like. So I felt like that with plenty of vegetables. I didn't want to add too many and dry it out. I am a Southern girl, and I've actually never had vegetables in my tater tot casserole. So this is a first, but I'm excited to try it. So now I am going to pour it in a greased casserole dish. The recipe called for 30 tater tots, but Walmart did not have, try not to kill them, regular tater tots. So this is all they had, and I settled with it. So I'm going to be using more than 30 since they're like just little tiny slivers of tater tots. So I'm just going to use all of it and count it as the same. I just hope that they don't burn up in the oven for that long, being smaller. So we'll see. So for a fourth of this, it is 10 points, and if you cut it into 6, it would be 6 points. And I am probably just going to cut it into 4 is my plan. And I thought I had more fat-free cheese than I did, and I don't have enough for the whole casserole. So what I'm going to do is just dump some over my area of the casserole, and then just give my family regular cheese. That way I can count 0 points for it, and I'm not worried about it. So a fourth of a casserole is actually a lot looking at it in this big chunk. I don't know, may do a 6, but we'll see. And then so that I can tell whose is whose, I'm just gonna stick a toothpick down here in my end. That way I know that's my fourth. And you should be able to tell anyway with fat-free cheese, but you never know. Although I am not going to lie, this delicious sharp cheddar cheese, calling my name. I may have to drop a few little shreds of it on my side. Still not enough to count a point. Okay. So that is all for this, and now it needs to go in the oven at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. Back and redid my points for this, and just since you're dividing this little 10-ounce can by 4 to 6 pieces, it actually didn't even change the points value, so yay. We're going to make 2 veggies aside. Since it is a point heavy meal, to me that is a point heavy meal, I want to pair it up with 0 point fillers, being veggies. So I am going to cook some corn on the cob, and then this is just plain unbreaded okra. And the way I do it is I spray a cooking sheet and lay this on it, and then I spray the okra, and usually I sprinkle just some Tony's all over it, Tony Satchery seasoning. And I bake it at, I think, about 425. I haven't done it in a while. And so it gets kind of crispy, kind of brown in places, and it's really good. I could literally eat a whole bag to myself, and I have before. But so it's that good. So those are the 2 sides we'll do with it, and then that whole meal will be 10 points. Here is the corn. I just sprayed it with this parquet spray, and then I put some garlic powder on it. That's how we like ours, and it's so good. It smells so good. Here is the finished casserole, so you can tell where mine is over here. But it looks and smells so good. The okra is almost finished. Here is the finished meal. It looks so good. It's a lot of food. And now for dessert, it is one of the Fiber One brownies I showed you with the sugar-free caramel, and then just a little bit of Cool Whip. So this will be 2 points for my dessert, and then I'll be finished eating for the day. So that is all for my WW What I Eat in a Day. I'm trying to be finished eating for the day. I think I'm about out of points now, but if I get hungry later, I may just pop a bag of popcorn or something for 3 points. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can get some ideas.